Alright, we'll call the November meeting to order, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We'll do roll call. Mr. Costello. Mr. Donovan.
Here.
Mr. Spence.
Here.
Mr. Bush.
Here.
I'm here. Mr. Major.
Here.
Mr. Dreer.
Here.
Thank you. Alright, we will approve last month's meetings minutes in December. You're missing the copy of those, so we'll forego that. The treasurer's report. Any questions regarding the report? Florinda also gave us the Trust Indiana statement of each account, the summary. Any questions? Alright, please note that we received the treasurer's report. The comp time. Any questions, concerns, comments? None? Alright. Moving forward. For our appropriations, we have a few transfers. These are reporting only. Our first transfer is for $14.80 from unemployment to assistant supervisors in the MVH restricted fund. Any questions? Alright. The next reporting only is for the jail. They're moving $2,324.85 from pest control and trash hauling to meals to pay the outstanding invoices. Any questions? Nope. Alright, our next reporting only is for $1,000. It's going into juvenile secure detention from the building insurance fund. They needed to pay their claim. Alright, and then the last reporting only we have is for $6,532 going into rent from travel. This is the 4-H extension office.
Here it says replacing office lighting.
Yes, it
That's
does.
what we're going to use that for.
It appears so.
Pardon?
It is, yes, it's a transfer only, so they don't have to have that approved.
I understand, but if we're renting something, why are we putting all the lights in?
I don't know what the rental agreement is. If we're responsible for any of that or not.
Whatever you said, I don't know, can't understand, so don't ask.
Well, I don't know what the rental agreement is. If we were responsible
Right.
for part of it, I don't know.
Maybe we should table that and look into the rent agreement.
Well, we don't have to vote on it since they're just transferring fund lines.
But I can ask for an explanation and have them email you.
Okay, that'd be great. Once I get that, I'll send it out.
Send to everybody?
Yep.
Okay.
Alright. The next, we have actual additional appropriations that we do need to approve. I know our packets are kind of different. The first one we're going to look at is the probation officer 3 for $7,302.50. It is a reimbursement from the grant put back into the probation officer 3. We were paying it from county general and then refunding it from the grant money. So this is the money from the grant going back into county general. We need to appropriate it back into there.
Motion to allow.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Dreer, second by Mr. Major, to approve the appropriation for probation officer 3 back into county general. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say no. It is approved. Alright. And then the next one is for probation officer 3. Since we put the money back in county general, they are now wanting to take it out of the opioid grant to pay.
I gotta find that one.
It's towards it got split up in the packet. It's for $9,120. So they're moving Quinn's pay to the reimbursable grant.
towns to follow.
They got split up when they got copied, I think. Did you find it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I know where it's at.
So this is to move her pay to the grant, so it'll be paid from the grant money. Are there any questions regarding the grant or the pay?
Motion to allow.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Bush, second by Mr. Donovan, to allow Quinn's pay to be moved to the grant. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say no.
I saw it, boy. I already had the computer updated. Yeah.
Alright. The next additional appropriation that we have is for $40,000 for juvenile detention. There has been an increase in the juveniles that need to be detained. There is also a cash ledger behind it showing some of those costs. Anyone have any questions?
I'll make a
Unfortunately-
motion to allow.
Okay.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Donovan, a second by Mr. Bush, for the $40,000 to juvenile detention fund account. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say no. Appropriations approved. The next additional appropriation is for $5,000 for inmate medical. It is to pay current invoices as well as some outstanding invoices for the medical. Anyone have questions? Sheriff Phelps is here if we need clarification. This often happens at the end of the year.
On medical, normally it doesn't. We got slammed with a couple of bills from 2018, I believe, and 2019 that were completely unexpected, so.
Oh,
Our medical company.
hey, Mike, can you come over here real quick? The microphones won't pick up over there.
We got slammed with some medical bills, older medical bills that we didn't realize still had not been paid, but they usually try to bill the inmate, and then when that is not successful, then they find out that we brought them in while they were an inmate, then they come after us for them. But we also had, in the past year, 3 or 4 emergency surgeries, and it's nothing you can do. And those were on sentenced people, so you can't just release them on their own recognizance. So we've actually got a couple more big ones that'll come in. And we owe our medical company for December yet, so we'll be back next month. But their rates haven't changed since we've been with them. But we're dealing with different type of people nowadays. A lot of times we can cut them loose, they're low end, non-violent, but we can't do that once they're sentenced.
I'll make a motion to allow.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Dreer, a second by Mr. Donovan, to allow the $5,000 for inmate medical. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say no. All right. Appropriations approved. Alright. Next, we'll do the CARES money, the grant funds. Next is $502,197. This is the CARES Act funding. It's being moved to the county general per the ordinance. They have already wired us the money, and so we are putting it into county general. This is, they reimbursed all of the salaries for law enforcement. beginning in March. Originally, we had bought several supplies for COVID, hand sanitizers, masks, the sanitizers, thermometers, things like that, that we thought we were going to get reimbursed. And then they said that we could take salaries. There was that change about a month and a half ago. And so we had got the full maximum amount available to be reimbursed. So we were just putting it in the county general. I just need a motion to put it in back in.
Before we make the motion, I just like to thank Mark for staying on top of those grant stuff out there, because it definitely helps us, the taxpayers. I mean, you bring back a lot of money to the county, and I appreciate that.
Auditor's office did a lot of work on this one too.
Thank you to everyone. It's a huge help to be able to get all those things and not have to worry about the cost of them. So. Any other questions, comments? All right.
Motion to do it?
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Bush, a second by Mr. Donovan, to put the $502,197 back into the County General from the CARES Act Fund. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say no. It is approved. Alright. And the last appropriation we have is listed twice. It is a request from the Commissioners for $75,000 for the ambulance service contract. It is the ambulance subsidy that they have negotiated. It was brought up to renegotiate due to the loss of runs and the run volume and revenue volume for the ambulance contract due to COVID. And this is the amount they have settled on. They have given us two different funds if we choose to approve it. One is County General and one is Public Safety. So it can come out of completely one fund or both funds partially.
Mr. Wilson, correct me if I'm wrong, but did the ambulance contract not go up because of that they were anticipating a increase in runs? Did we not increase that and add another ambulance? Okay.
This is for the 2020 year of what has happened since March.
Did we get any financial reports for them that showed us that they had a loss?
He was at the Commissioners meeting and brought numbers, but I didn't hand out an actual report.
Okay.
So.
I'd like to make a motion to deny.
Okay. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion? All right, I have a motion by Mr. Major and a second by Mr. Dreer to deny this appropriation. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
What'd she say?
I got 3 no's.
3 ayes.
Yep.
You do a roll call.
Yep, we'll do a roll call. Mr. Donovan?
Aye.
Spence?
Nay.
What do we vote on? To allow it or not?
Mr. Bush?
Voting to deny it.
Yeah.
Aye.
I'm sorry,
Aye.
deny it?
Deny.
Okay. Major? Mr.
Aye.
Major? And Mr. Drew?
Aye.
Okay. The request for the appropriation is denied.
I just think we need to see some figures on that. The ones that we got at that meeting was just talked about runs, not really financial. You know, I'm not saying that it's in the contract for 5%, but we need to see where we started out at.
Okay.
I mean, we're paying almost $750,000 for
Well,
ambulance
actually,
service.
like I talked before the meeting, I think he said run volume was down 250 calls last meeting, but I'm sure by the end of December 31, December 31st, those runs may be at 100 or maybe 50, so I think we should at least wait till December to see.
I'm sure that's information we can request from him.
Yeah,
at the end
and see where he's
year.
at.
I think we should request at least a year or two of their financial reports.
I guess my comment about it is, it's not the county's fault that COVID hit, and I don't think it's the county's responsibility to make up something that happened worldwide or United States wide. That's my opinion.
I agree with that too. Yeah, a lot of
I'm
these
sorry I
smaller,
lost money, because you can't stay in business losing money, but.
a lot of these smaller businesses are taking a hit too, and the county ain't bailing them out.
Well, if we have questions, I can either get them to Eric or the commissioners can, or, I'm sure Eric will hear.
You can send an email or?
Yeah, will you let him know that it was denied, and that if it be revisited, to let the commissioners know again, and then we would need additional information for the end of the year totals. Thank you. Alright, next on our agenda, we have amended salaries. The first one is for the COVID-19 testing grant. The health department received the $100,000 grant, and so they hired swabbers and used extra help for that. We have to put them on the salary ordinance. They are currently operating, but we just need it to officially be put on the salary ordinance. So that is the first one.
And this is grant money?
Yes, this is all grant money.
So once the grant money runs out, then that person doesn't have a job, is that correct?
Well, it is state funded right now.
Pardon?
It's state funded, and she has it scheduled like per hours so that it won't run out. So up until that point, I mean, yes, it's
I think this grant goes to June of 2021.
yes.
2021, okay.
Most of them are already employees, I think.
Yeah.
They're just doing this as a.
On the side or an extra deal income, okay.
Because they're open on Saturdays also.
Okay.
And in the evening.
So they're
sometimes.
already on the payroll, I mean, with just, okay.
Yeah, this is the extra help they need.
There could be somebody who isn't maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
What's that?
Is there just two?
Yes, there's two of them. Yeah, the first one's the COVID.
But they're both grant.
They both will be, yes.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Major, second by Mr. Spence, to approve the COVID-19 testing grant for the swabbers. The salary ordinance, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say no. Okay. The ordinance is approved. Alright, our next salary ordinance item is for the opioid grant. It's for the probation officer 3. This is to amend the salary ordinance for her. It's coming out of the grant money.
Motion to allow.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Bush, second by Mr. Dreer, for the probation officer 3 amended salary ordinance from the opioid grant. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. The ordinance is approved. Alright. Next, we have an update from Hamilton Center.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name's Mark Collins. I'm the Chief Clinical Officer for the Hamilton Center. I'm sorry, I miscalculated. This is our annual report that ended in fiscal year 20. Just wanted to spend a few minutes just giving you guys an update on the Hamilton Center and what's been happening over the course of the last several months. As you well know, Hamilton Center is a community mental health center established in 11 counties in west central Indiana, one of those counties being Vermillion. We began services in Vermillion County in 1973, and we moved into the location that we occupy currently on Main Street in 1999. We currently serve approximately 500 individuals from Vermillion County in our Vermillion County office. We employ 14 staff members in our Vermillion County office, and we offer a wide range of services from birth to end of life out of our Vermillion County office. Over the last 8 or 9 months, obviously everyone knows we've been impacted by COVID-19. We serve a very difficult population, a very medically complex population, individuals with serious mental illness and addictions issues. Over the last 8-9 months, we have primarily worked remotely. We actually took us about a week. We sent 400 staff from office to home. So the overwhelming majority of our services have been happening remotely via telehealth and via telephone. The state of Indiana has allowed us to provide those services without them having to be face-to-face, which has assisted us and continued to care for those Vermillion County consumers. And what we found over the course of the last 8 to 9 months is that actually we've decreased our no-show rate about 7%. Individuals, obviously, when you're able to get a hold of them via telephone or via their own home, makes it more convenient to seek out treatment. And we've been able to decrease those wait times. We currently employ 654 individuals across those 11 counties. In the last year, we've opened 2 opiate treatment programs, or opioid treatment programs, one Wind Recovery in Knox County, Indiana, in Vincennes, and one just about 3 or 4 weeks ago in Hendricks County, Indiana. That OTP serves individuals who suffer from opiate use disorder with methadone, a medication that's nationally recognized as the gold standard in treatment for individuals who suffer from opioid treatment disorder. We also recently, in the last 3 months, received notification from HRSA that our Grace Clinic Health Professional is now a federally qualified health center lookalike status. It's located in Vigo County currently, and we also have an office in Putnam County. So we're working towards full federally qualified health center status in both Vigo County and Putnam County, and looking to determine a strategic plan over the next 3 to 5 years on where we go with those types of primary care services. We have a lot of different services that we offer out of the Vermillion County office. I know that being close to Vigo, there's a lot of services that overlap Vermillion and Vigo counties. We have a 16-bedded patient unit that's located in Vigo County, and an addictions office on First Street there in Vigo County as well. We still provide all the continuum of care services in the Vermillion County office for any of those individuals that wish to be served out of the Vermillion County office. Just wanted to give you guys a brief update on what's been going on, COVID-19 related, with us as an organization, and then answer any questions you guys might have with us.
Have you had any trouble since you've gone remote getting a hold of patients, or has anyone had trouble with either having internet access or telephone?
Yeah, I think, yes. The one difficulty is the fact that obviously when you work with the population, 79% of our population makes less than $8,000 a year that we serve. So they may have a phone but not minutes. They may have a phone but no data plan, right? They may not have an iPad or something to get in touch, or they have a phone and they run out of minutes. So although we've seen a 7% decrease, you still have those individuals who struggle with technology and individuals who struggle with getting the resources needed to actually follow through with the service. We are heavily lobbying, I'm going to be careful, we're not lobbying. We are expressing our opinions to the Indiana legislature regarding telehealth services. Prior to COVID-19, telehealth services for behavioral health had to be provided in person. It wasn't like primary care services where you could call on the phone or your doctor and get those things approved. We're hopeful that now we can show that we've had success in engaging individuals and keeping them engaged and decreasing no-show rates, so that the state will be more prone to lifting some of those restrictions on telehealth for behavioral health services. Obviously, if I can sit in the comfort of my own home and have an assessment over the phone without having to get out, or if I'm running late, something happens in life, right? My kids, I have an appointment but I can't get there. If I can be reached via telephone or via Zoom as opposed to having to drive into the office, then they're more apt to keep those appointments. And what's we want to do? We want to engage people in services, keep them receiving the services that they need to stay well mentally and physically. So we absolutely have, and we are advocating across the state for hopefully expansion. Currently, the federal government, their emergency declaration ends January 21st. The state of Indiana Governor Holcomb does a 30-day declaration or executive order. That's set to expire in the first part of December, but we fully believe that he'll extend that another 30 days. He has been doing that over the course of the last 7 or 8 months. Hopefully that will coincide then with whatever we get to in January, and see where we're at with COVID and how things will play out at that point in time.
After they've been through your program, what kind of percentage do you see as far as repeaters?
That was we presented about 3, maybe 4 weeks ago. I can't recall at the commissioners meeting. That was a question that they asked. And to be completely honest, I'm gonna have to dig into that.
Okay.
We have a high success rate, and it kind of depends on, if you mean like recidivism for those individuals involved in the legal system. Do you mean individuals who come back for treatment? Is it the same issue? Is it a different issue that they've come back for treatment? And how many individuals actually just stop treatment, right? They don't follow through, they don't come back, even with the treatment recommendations that are made.
I know Mr. Phillips sees a lot of them returning back to your jail after you've had them once or back 2 or 3 times for the same offense, aren't they, Mike? I mean, a lot of times. I don't know what the answer would be to get a handle on that, but
Absolutely, absolutely.
it's a bad situation here in our county anyway.
Yeah. And it is across multiple counties. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not the whole state, those repeat offenders that frequent flyers are sometimes called, keep coming through the system and coming through the system. And we see that as well, right? So we can serve them. Sometimes they're just seeking services because they're mandated to. They don't really want to make a change, but they have to, right, in order to meet all their conditions of whatever legal charges they have. And then as soon as they complete that, they're back to where they were
Doing
at
the same
before.
thing, yeah.
Yep.
Well, I appreciate you coming in and sharing all that with us.
How much is the county being billed at this time for services from Hamilton Center?
The county doesn't get billed for services that we provide. The county does provide in the form of tax money from the county to us to operate as a community mental health center in Vermillion County, and I believe, Mr. Spence, that's $153,000.
How much?
I believe it's 153, approximately.
How much is Park County paying?
Park County. I don't know, Mr. Spence, I'm sorry.
Well, the reason I bring this up is because about 6 years ago, I remember that the fact that we were shocked over the fact that it was more than $75,000. Then it went to $100,000. Then it's $120,000. Now it's $150,000. Why?
So the formula that's utilized is set by the state Department of Mental Health and Addiction. The Hamilton Center actually has nothing to do with how we set those tax dollars. And I wish that I could tell you it's a very complicated formula that's used to determine which counties are, not all counties pay, but what the cost is. It has to do with the number of individuals in the county. It has to do with the number of individuals that live certain income ranges in the county. But we get a letter every year, Mr. Spence, that says, hey, this is the allocation, the new allocation for fiscal year 21, and we just got it, I think.
Is it based on the number of patients that you handle from Vermillion County?
No, sir, it is not. It's based on the entire population. And this is the best way I can explain it is, it's in the Indiana Administrative Code regarding the community mental health centers and the county funding. And so it uses this really complicated formula that looks at the entire county. And we've had this conversation before with other councils and commissioners, where they ask, well, how is the funds being used, right? Why is it that we pay so much? What do we get out of those funds? And simply, the code says that the counties pay these funds to the community mental health center to exist in that county and to serve anyone in that county that may seek treatment. So again, we don't set the dollar amount. We get information from the state every year that will lay out what the new amounts are for each county that we serve.
Any other questions for Mr. Collins? No. Thank you. We appreciate you coming tonight and answering all the questions that we had.
Appreciate you
And for
guys.
the
Thank you.
update. All right. On our agenda, there was also the ordinance for failure to appear for appeals for property tax. I think we've gotten that cleared up, so we don't have to have that on the agenda tonight. We don't have to visit that. That is it for our agenda this
So
evening.
remove it, you don't need it on
No.
our agenda?
Yeah.
Unless Paige tells you to, I don't think we need it.
I got the PETA deal.
More information. What she sent me didn't look like you're gonna need to. You may find something.
Okay, I'll remove it.
Okay, thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
Is there any public comment this evening?
Motion to adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn. Second.
Second.
A motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
Wait, you're like